Hello, baseball fans. Just wanted to provide some commentary on this whole Houston Astros cheating scandal. The league announced just penalties for the Astros yesterday, and just a couple different things about this. So, number one is the timing of it. I guess it could have came out on Friday at 4:59 before the Super Bowl, but besides that, I mean, the commissioner's office releases this the day after the NFL playoffs and the day of the NCAA National Football Championship game. Congrats to LSU, by the way. So I think they wanted it buried. I think they put it out there quickly, knowing that it would be a short news cycle, that there'd be other large stories coming up. So that's kind of sad. Maybe it's good for the game as a whole, and maybe just true baseball fans will continue to pay attention to it versus the larger kind of sports arena. Here we're dealing with the integrity of the game. I think it is a lot different. I've had people comment and say, hey, cheating's cheating. The teams are always trying to steal signs. This is nothing new. And I'm like, yes, the use of technology is different than a runner on second base trying to figure something out and relay it around, because you know that they were doing it. You'd be able to switch up the signs or whatever. So, and along with the integrity of the game, we're not just talking about the outcome of the 2017 World Series here. So it's not like, hey, we can just hand it over to the Dodgers, or the Yankees would have won from the ALCS or whatever. But it affects everything. When we look at the stats, who knows how good Altuve was, who won the MVP. Judge came in second place that year. Kershaw got bombed. Like, his playoff record's kind of tainted that way. People teamed up on Mike Friars, and of course, you've got the fans. Buster Olney's got a pretty good article on that on ESPN.com. I do think the punishment's difficult for the commissioner. So he's really technically employed by 30 billionaires, and he's trying to be able to quote unquote punish them for what they're doing. And to me, like, you don't want to hurt general fans in Houston, but here in the situation, I think the fans lost. Baseball fans in general lost, and one owner, Jim Crane, made out great. I mean, wasn't too bad for him. And so anyhow, one of the major things about the punishment is, do you want it to be a deterrent to future teams who are thinking about cheating? Like, $5 million is inconsequential to anything having to do with baseball salaries and operating expenses for a Major League Baseball team. So the $5 million punishment, I think, is lame. Suspending the GM and coach. Jim Rome's comment on this is, that was that's tough, man. That's the longest suspension since Pete Rose. And I'm like, give me a break. Like, whatever. So the GM and coach are suspended for a year. They get fired after that, and then you lose draft picks. And to me, baseball draft picks are different than basketball, football draft picks. Like, one player, usually you're not going to change a franchise based around that first round, second round pick. Yes, those are good. Some of them turn out, some of them don't pan out, whatever. But when we look at this, if I'm a baseball fan, and I like all teams, I root for the Braves. If you told me, hey, I can guarantee you the 2020 World Series championship trophy for your city, for your town, you can celebrate all that stuff that goes along with winning the World Series. It's going to cost you $5 million. It's going to cost you your GM, and it's going to cost you your coach, and it's going to cost you a couple of draft picks in the first and second round. Would you sign up for that? Yes. Yes. Teams are out there doing all sorts of things, trying to win, hiring statistical analysis people, going through and free agency, all this stuff. You're spending millions and millions of dollars. And you're telling me the penalty for cheating and winning the World Series is only $5 million and losing your coach, GM, and a couple of draft picks? Like, yes. And that was my first thought. And Jeff Passan of ESPN, again, he said the same thing. Like, how many teams would sign up to do that if you said, hey, here, would you do this as a trade? Yes, everyone would trade that. $5 million? And we love our coaches, we love our GMs, but to trade for a World Series, that'd be fantastic. So anyhow, I don't think it's going to serve as a deterrent to teams. It's more of a public disgrace and embarrassment to the manager and players and team than it is like a punishment to the team itself. So and then I'm asking questions like, what's going to happen with Alex Cora, which we're still waiting to hear. I guess they're going to do that. And then Carlos Beltran, who was on the team and participating in this, is managing the Mets. Like, if you're a Mets fan, you want that guy managing your team. There's no player punishment. That I thought was odd. And then to me, like, I think Major League Baseball didn't vacate the championship because they didn't want the tarnish on them. They didn't want the asterisk next to them, that it's an embarrassment for the game. And it should be an embarrassment for the game. And would you rather have fans talk about that year, that it's embarrassment to the game, or say, hey, we realize what happened, we're going to take steps to prevent this from happening in the future? So I would have vacated the championship, and I would have fined them like $50 million over a 5-year period. Like, hey, you're going to get this $10 million fine every year for the next 5 years, just like you signed some poor free agent. And that would be one of your major penalties and count against your salary cap or whatever. Like, I would do something to make a very clear point to the other teams, like, this is not going to be tolerated. So, sorry to the fans in Houston, sorry to the fans in LA. I'm sure it's a big hit on you. I'd be super mad if I found out that the team that beat my team was cheating. Same thing, all you AL teams out there, all that stuff. So let me know what you think. Was the punishment not enough, too much? What would you do if you were given the title of MLB commissioner for the day? So anyhow, sad day for baseball. But I mean, baseball is great in that the sins of players and leagues, it's part of life and it's included in there. And so for me, I always remember that. And a little bonus, give a prize to the person that can name the winner of the 1994 World Series champion. Oh, yeah, that's right. It didn't happen. 1994 World Series ball. Congratulations to you, nobody, because of player greed, owner greed. World Series canceled. So a couple world wars can't stop the World Series, but a couple greed can. And to me, that's one of the neat things about baseball, that it's kind of a reflection on us as a people and society. So there's that desire to win, that greed, that will cheat, will do things to try to get ahead in life, even though it's not the right thing to do. So anyhow, let me know what you think. Love to hear from you. Thanks.